Welcome back, everyone. When you walk into any city across Tamriel, you'll find temples dedicated to the 8 divines, or maybe 9. The answer depends on who you ask and when you're asking. These aren't just background decoration in the Elder Scrolls universe. They're the foundation of one of the most intricate pantheons in gaming, where gods died to create the world, where divine intervention is real, and where religious conflict has sparked wars that changed history. Today, we're breaking down every single Aedric Divine, who they are, what they represent, and why they matter to the lore of Tamriel. But before we discuss individual divines, let's establish what the Aedra actually are. The term Aedra translates roughly to our ancestors in Old Aldmeri. These are the Et-Ada, original spirits, who participated in the creation of Mundus, the mortal plane. Unlike the Daedra who refused to participate, the Aedra sacrificed portions of their divine power to build the physical world, which weakened them permanently. This sacrifice is fundamental to understanding their nature. They're not omnipotent beings, but rather diminished gods who invested themselves into creation itself. Akatosh. Akatosh stands as the chief deity of the 9 divines and arguably the most important Aedra in Tamrielic religion. He's the god of time, the dragon god, and the ultimate symbol of endurance and invincibility. Akatosh established the covenant with Saint Alessia that created the Empire's divine protection and became the patron of the Empire itself. His intervention during the Oblivion crisis, manifesting as the avatar of Akatosh to defeat Mehrunes Dagon, is one of the most dramatic divine acts in Elder Scrolls history. Dragonborn carry his blood, which connects them directly to his power. The symbol of the Dragonborn and the Empire is intrinsically tied to Akatosh's domain over dragons and time itself. Arche. Arche governs the natural cycle of life and death, making him essential to funeral rites across Tamriel. His priests oppose necromancy and undeath as perversions of the natural order. Interestingly, Arche's origins are unique among the divines. According to some texts, he may have once been mortal, a man who ascended to divinity by understanding the nature of mortality so completely that he transcended it. This makes him particularly sympathetic to mortal concerns. His sphere opposes both premature death and the prolonging of life beyond its natural span, putting him in direct opposition to both necromancers and vampires. Dibella. Dibella represents beauty, art, love, and affection. Her worship is particularly strong in the Cyrodiilic heartlands and Skyrim, where her temples serve as centers for artistic appreciation. The Sibyl of Dibella, always a young woman chosen for her purity, serves as the goddess's mortal voice. Dibella's sphere extends beyond physical beauty to encompass artistic expression, music, poetry, and the beauty found in mortal passion and connection. Her worship includes sacred mysteries and rituals that outsiders aren't privy to, giving her cult an element of exclusivity despite being part of the official pantheon. Julianos. Julianos governs wisdom, logic, scholarship, and the study of magic and the natural world. He is particularly revered by mages and scholars. His domain represents the ordered pursuit of knowledge, not forbidden secrets like Hermaeus Mora, but rather the systematic understanding of the universe through reason and study. The School of Julianos and various magical academies across Tamriel invoke his name. He represents the ideal that knowledge should be pursued, preserved, and shared, making him essential to the concept of magical education as opposed to hoarded power. Kynareth. Kynareth is the goddess of the heavens, the winds, air, and the natural world. She's among the oldest and most respected of the divines, with worship predating even the Alessian order. She's credited with breathing life into the mortal races after their creation, quite literally giving them the breath of life. This makes her fundamental to mortal existence in a unique way. Nature spirits and elemental forces often fall under her domain, and druids, rangers, and those who live close to nature frequently invoke her blessing. During the Oblivion crisis, Her priests were noted for providing refuge for wildlife displaced by Daedric incursions. Mara. Mara embodies love, compassion, and familial bonds. She is the goddess of marriage, and nearly every marriage ceremony in Tamriel invokes her blessing through the amulet of Mara. Her worship extends beyond romantic love to encompass parental love, charity, and compassion for the suffering. Temples of Mara frequently operate as orphanages and centers for charitable works. The benevolence of Mara is a concept that encourages her followers to show kindness even to strangers, making her worship one of the most practically beneficial to common people. Stendarr. Stendarr represents mercy, justice, and righteous rule. His worship is closely tied to concepts of law and compassionate judgment. The Vigilants of Stendarr are perhaps his most visible followers, a militant order dedicated to hunting Daedric corruption, vampires, werewolves, and other supernatural threats. This shows how Stendarr's mercy has limits. It's extended to those who can be redeemed, while those who embrace evil must be opposed. He's particularly important to the Imperial Legion and the concept of just warfare, making him a god of both mercy and the righteous use of force. Zenithar. Zenithar governs work, commerce, and the prosperity that comes from honest labor. He's particularly venerated by merchants, traders, and craftspeople. His doctrine teaches that wealth should be earned through honest work and that labor has inherent dignity. He represents the middle-class virtues of industriousness, fair dealing, and economic prosperity. Interestingly, Zenithar is sometimes identified with the Yokudan god Zien, showing how the imperial pantheon absorbed various cultural traditions. Talos, also called Tiber Septim, is unique among the divines as the only mortal to achieve apotheosis in recorded history and be accepted into the mainstream pantheon, at least for a time. Just to be clear, unlike Arche, whose mortal origins are only sustained by legends and psalms, Talos was undeniably human before his ascension to divinity. As Tiber Septim, he conquered all of Tamriel and founded the Third Empire. His ascension to godhood is controversial. Imperials and Nords believe he genuinely achieved divinity through the power of his accomplishments, while the Aldmeri Dominion denies his divinity entirely, claiming men cannot become gods. The White Gold Concordat banned Talos worship, making him the center of the civil war in Skyrim. This isn't just theological debate, it's a question of whether humanity has the potential for divinity, which threatens Elven supremacist ideology. This conflict is precisely why Talos may or may not be considered the ninth divine, depending on who you ask. The 9 divines, or 8, depending on where your loyalties lie, are way more than just stat bonuses at shrines. These gods have shaped every major conflict in Tamriel's history. Alessia's covenant with Akatosh created an empire. The ban on Talos worship tore Skyrim apart. Even something as simple as a wedding involves Mara's blessing. What makes the Aedra fascinating is that they're not all powerful. They gave up chunks of their divine essence to create the world, which means they're invested in Mundus in a way the Daedra simply aren't. They have skin in the game, so to speak. Whether you're storming through Skyrim, ignoring every temple, or you're the type to activate every shrine you pass, the divines are woven into the fabric of these games. Their influence is everywhere once you start paying attention, in architecture, in dialogue, in the way characters justify their actions. That's what makes Elder Scrolls lore so rich. Even the religion has layers. Do you think Talos deserves his spot among the divines, or do the Thalmor have a point? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious where this community stands. Thanks for watching, and if you want more deep dives into Elder Scrolls lore, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. See you in the next one.